I'm shocked this is recording. I just clicked it, didn't think it was going to work, but I got a bunch of stuff bubbling up inside my brain. So, there's a gal that I dated for a number of years, and when we first met, she told me that she didn't think she could trust me. She thought she fucking hated me. I mean, these are me generalizing, but she said a lot of bad shit. That was her first reaction, is my point. Typically speaking, if you get to hang out with me, and you drop your fucking guard for a moment, and we start fucking hanging out, etc., etc. Keep in mind, you could lend this to the fact I said, you can't trust me, blah, 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 blah. Maybe. I mean, you could think of it that way, but just the same, typically speaking, if most people do hang out with me for a while, the middle ground of all of this is they usually like me. They usually do. Now, if you and I reach yet another level, and this is kind of what I keep giving people glimpses of in some ways, if you're not an absolute bag of meat, you're capable of abstract thought, which is to say you can think for yourself, you can reason shit out, you're not a moron, you won't be offended by me showing you other stuff, which I skipped all those steps, and I've been showing people other stuff. And typically speaking, it's a mix of, oh, I don't know what the fuck's happening here. It's not the same fucking song and praise. It's not the same fucking operation. It's not the same shit that everybody else is shutting out. What's happening? And people freak the fuck out. Most people these days, because I keep my guard up, they never get to that fucking middle phase where things are sweet. It's like a honey pot. It's like, what is it? Is it Goldilocks and Three Bears? It's like that. Keep in mind, but wait, there's more. I can teach you things you're not supposed to know, but I'm going to step all over all the fucking dumb shit that you've been trained to repeat and you probably believe in. And the moment that happens, the ball drops, people fucking freak out, they run for the fucking hills. But if you're not an absolute bag of meat, I am terribly fucking neat. And most people don't understand this, which means you're probably missing out. Best of all, I mean, most people are going to live their lives, they're going to rot, they're going to die and rot in that order in particular. And they're never going to know a quarter of what I could teach them, let alone what they could have realized on their own. Why am I saying this right now? Because you and I are surrounded by very, very slow people who are fucking things up for themselves and everybody else. I can show you how to get out of that. I can show you how to get out of that fucking rut and do the right fucking thing to varying degrees. I can provide you with the fucking tools. But if you're not invested, you're not involved. If you're not willing to put in the fucking time, you're not worth your fucking salt. You can't think for yourself and think critically. You can't think abstractly. You can't think at all. If you're full of fucking assumptions and that's all you're ever going to cling to, you're worthless, and you are technically the fucking problem, and you do not realize it. What have I left online? And most of you probably don't know. One example I can give you is, say you got 1%, and that's the problem according to most people, which means you got what? 99%. Yeah? And those are all the good people out there. Do you really think it's the 1%, or do you think it's the 99% that bought into the bullshit that the 1% spoon-fed the fucking 99%, and the 99% aren't smart enough to fucking reject and or do the right fucking thing? But what do people repeat? It's certainly the 1%.